I want the jug of beer back.
I need equipment. We're going to do this the right way. I am at a loss for words. I'm so happy that Sean and Michelle and Joe and Kelly and Aiden were able to be here with us. It's talk about being at a loss for words. It's so good for me to be able to share this with you guys. I won't try to put into words how much it means to have you here after all the years you put in with the Carroll adventure in so many forms, many of which I ought not mention in public, especially with former law enforcement agents around. Michael, one of those guys can teach you some lessons. That's an inside joke. David, I thank you so much for the photographs of me in the flycatcher motif with my mouth wide open. Those photographs were just a joy for me to have. There's an ongoing discussion that he thinks I'm losing, and it has to do with Twitter and Facebook and all of this stuff. I think it's great stuff, but not necessarily for me. As far as I'm concerned, bring back the pigeons, we'll do fine. Joe, Pete, it's great to see that the Comedy Hour continues. Again, I have had such wonderful times climbing steep hills with you guys. There have been lots of climbs, lots of tough climbs, and there's no better companionship on the journey. Barb, thank you so much for everything. Your shoulders are plenty wide enough to carry the heavy loads that are going to be yours and that have been yours, and we thank you so much for that. And Rebecca, the kid, thank you so much for your investment. Rebecca put in a huge amount of work in what we did tonight, and I thank you so very much for that. Chris and Brett, it's always so great to be with you two. It's great. It was great for me to see the two of you together in front of an audience and watching them enjoy the goings on. I don't want you to think that I want you to believe everything those two had to say, but Brett, I'm very glad you told the story of the city council meeting. You made my evening with that one. I was very disappointed when your organization didn't come up with the croquet festival that you were thinking about sponsoring in front of Maiden Hall. I had to look forward to that, and I'm disappointed that didn't come along. Lori, thank you so much for mentioning the Common Course, which was one of the high points of my experience here. I'm not going to stand here and try to explain how much I thought of the Common Course and start to connect that with the situation of American education today. But we were doing something very, very well at that time, and I so appreciate all the colleagues who were a part of that great venture back when Carroll was doing some things that made us very, very proud. Linda, that interview, she prepared loads and loads and loads of really good questions, and I worked and worked and worked to give really good answers, and then she gave us the drippiest stuff that I talking about wisps of hair, waiting for the darn thing to begin. Thank you very much. Jim, thanks for mentioning your family. I've so enjoyed keeping connected with them. Do your children know that if it weren't for me, they wouldn't be here?
They will tonight.
Okay. have to restrain myself, because if I start to tell stories, the seal will be broken, and I will have you here all night. And I'm really restraining myself. But you and I have done so much together, been through so much together, and it's always been a great joy to me to have you as a colleague and a friend and a part of the wonderful art faculty we have at Carroll, which has been such a source of joy for me. Deirdre. Wow. You're taking credit for bullshit in front of a big crowd. Great, good for you, good for you. What she didn't tell you was when the mast broke, and she said, okay, yeah, the Coast Guard had to come and bring us in, but I damn near killed Deirdre that day because the top of the mast came down and crashed onto the deck very close to Deirdre's head. But there's always been a discussion as to whether hitting Deirdre in the head with a large metal object was going to make a difference in the first place. No. That's an old Dailey joke. That's what we say about ourselves.
I thought you were going to tell them about my offer to flash the lifeguard to get their attention.
Deirdre and I have done union stuff together, and we talked about union stuff together. And we've thrown darts, and we've talked, and we've plotted political revolution, and we talked and talked and talked. We talked about family, we talked about education, and our recent college period of discontent. We've done so much together, and I appreciate so much your willingness to join us tonight and be a part of the program. To everybody who was a part of the program, you guys were fantastic. Folks have a really good time, even if it wasn't really at my expense. But thank you for everybody who did the program.